Hey everybody, this is Gabe, and this is week 4 of the Children's Book Challenge. Now, the past few weeks, I've had some decisions to make, and I've decided that I am going to pursue not just a one off with one children's book doing a self published route, but I'm actually going to look and see what it takes to be a children's book author. Now, this is something that I had never really thought of as a career or even as doing something to do. But I'm going to take a stab at it and take a stab at it, take a stab at it and see if it's possible. I don't really know. It's not something that I had planned on, not something that I had really considered seriously. But as I've gotten to think about it, I have ideas for different books. And so we're going to see what comes about it. And that's intriguing and also awesome. But what I've been doing the past few weeks, not in conjunction with deciding to do that, is looking at what it takes to actually publish a book. Now, one of the things that I'm having to consider, amongst the other stuff, such as picking a literary agent, whether to do that or not, what publishing house to go with, whether to go with one of the big five or a smaller, more local publisher. Trying to decide what genre, what category, what types of books that I would actually write. Among those kind of decisions that I've had to make, I've actually had to look at a children's book, specifically a picture book, of course, has illustrations. And so even before this challenge, I've actually thought about getting this particular book published. And in doing so, I've had to look whether or not they say to get your book illustrated before turning in, submitting it to a publisher or not. Now, that's something that I've been researching kind of off and on the past few years. And up until recently, it's been a 50-50 yes, get it published, and some people say no, get it published. And that's made it really hard to figure out what it is that I actually need to do. But luckily, I found a very trustworthy source that actually I've learned that it's better not to get it illustrated first before you submit it to a publisher. And so that's what I'm going to do. Now, one of the things I've learned from this is you got to do your research. You got to find out what it is that actually is and not assume that it's this way or that way. Now, with children's books, you think, oh, I need to get it published before, or not published, but get it illustrated first before I submit it to a publisher. Otherwise, it's what is a picture book? I don't know if you can hear it, but it's thundering. Yay, storms are brewing. But man, I lost my train of thought. Getting it illustrated, you would actually think you need to get it illustrated before you turn it into a publisher, because it's a picture book. That's what you do. But it actually turns out that they have their own illustrators who know the market better, what types of illustrations work best with that particular book, in a particular setting, in a particular environment. What illustrations might have worked 10 years ago, they don't work as well now. And so that's one of the reasons why you got to do your due diligence and do your research. And it's thundering. I don't know if you can hear this, but I'm going to have to stop pretty soon. But so you have to do your due diligence. But not only that, you have to persevere. Now, this isn't just something that I came across, asked the question, and all of a sudden I got the answer. It has actually taken a few years of off and on research finding this answer. And so when you're out there pursuing things, sometimes you have to, well, one, you need to get the knowledge that you need. You can't just go around assuming. And sometimes it takes perseverance to get that knowledge. Something that we don't necessarily like to do. We just like the answers to be, we ask the question, we get the answer back. But sometimes, actually, a lot of times it's not like that. All right, there's a big big crack. A lot of it's not like that. And so you got to have the perseverance to get the knowledge that you need to be able to pursue it. Not just pursue it, but pursue it well, correctly, and as best you can. And so that's what I'm working on, and that's where I'm at, realizing that don't get a children's book illustrated beforehand. Unless you're doing self-publishing, then you need to. But if you're going through a traditional publisher route, which is what I'm doing, don't get it illustrated before you submit it to a publisher. So that's where I'm at. So that's one of the things I've learned recently. I have some other things that I've been researching and learning as well, and I'm going to feed you that information next time. But until then, this is Gabe, week 4, signing off. As always, attempt a chance to try, get out there and get to it. Just don't get to it in thunderstorms. Don't get struck by lightning. All right, we'll catch you later. Bye.